Hello everyone, welcome to Michael's Vlog in the Philippines. Today I'm going to talk about who can you trust in the Philippines, but as a foreigner. So if you're a foreigner, I'm talking about from your perspective. And I know a lot of foreigners here probably can understand me on this particular aspect. And it may not be in the same area of services, but at some point in some time, at some particular time, you've probably gotten the foreigner price. Very good chance of that if you're a foreigner here. And, for me, that's kind of the frustrating thing for me, is who can I trust? And I'm speaking specifically when it comes to services or products that you may purchase. And when it comes to money, it's really difficult to trust people here to not, overcharge you. And I guess when it comes to money in general, anywhere in the world, you don't know who you can trust when it comes to that because even in America, you may run into some issues, but it's a lot harder to give someone an overpriced product because there's so much information out there in America to help you figure out what the true price should be anyway. A quick internet search can find you the true answers of like how much something should cost versus, what they're charging you. Whereas here, it's a lot more difficult. It's a different currency. You don't really know necessarily how much something costs, except that comes with time and experience. So I know a lot better now what I should be paying for certain things. But when it comes to money, like, if you're getting a house built, if you're buying a car, it can even be buying food, you don't know, what the price should be. And, a lot of times you can get the foreigner price and it's a bit unfair, but that's the situation that you deal with, as a foreigner, is that you're always going to be a foreigner. They're always going to look at you as, not everybody. Let me keep that clear. Not everybody. I'm not even saying necessarily majority, but you're going to run into people, enough times, I think, that it's important to talk about it. If you're catching, a jeepney or something like that, you can figure out the price by observing how much everybody else is paying. So obviously the foreigner price for that is not really going to be as relevant. But if you're buying food from a street vendor, you could get that foreigner price, even if you don't realize it. When you're buying a car, you show up, they can mark that price up because they see you a foreigner and they know they can make a little bit extra money because they think that every foreigner is just stacked so high, that they just can just throw money any kind of way. So that's the unfortunate, disadvantage of being a foreigner, is you don't really know who you can trust when it comes to money. And then you can have people that are trying to rip you off, especially when it comes to, having a house built. The problem with that, and this even goes for locals, is that you don't know if the people are working. They could be taking the money and not really building the house to the stats it's supposed to be built to at a certain given time. And so you always got to figure out a way to, leverage your money to make it where they have incentive to give you the right price. So for example, I was given some wisdom from a guy here. He was like, well, if you're going to have a house renovated, what you do is you give them a fixed rate that you're going to pay for the full completion. And you tell them you're going to get paid this daily rate, and I'm going to check it and make sure that it's being progressed at the rate that the speed it should. And if you finish early and it's built right, you'll get that extra money that's left. So if you finish a month early, you're going to get a month of pay still for that month that you would have worked that you're not actually working because you finished early. So basically you need to learn how to leverage your money to give them incentive to finish the project in a timely manner and be motivated to work efficient with high quality, and at the same time making sure that you got your money budgeted right for that particular project. So leveraging your money to work for you and causing them to be motivated to work differently and work efficiently with high quality by offering them incentives. So that's one way you could deal with the housing thing. Now, some things I don't really know how to deal with when it comes to buying a car. I'm not sure how you can, leverage your money to create incentive for that. But when I look at the car prices, I mean, even if you're not a foreigner, some of them car prices I'll be seeing, I'll be like, man, that car is twice the cost it is in America. So it's like, when it comes to that, that really affects everybody. It's not just a trust issue with, who can you trust as a foreigner in the Philippines. It's really crazy. And a lot of times I talk to other foreigners, they're like, man, you're so lucky, man. You have people that you can trust, because I do have people that I can actually trust, And so it's a little bit different for me, my experience, but not across the board. There are situations where, I may not have someone I can trust in a particular industry that I know. So it's a bit different, but I'm fortunate. A lot of areas I do have people that I can trust when it comes to certain components. But if you're a foreigner, even for me I still have areas where I don't know who I can trust to get something done. I'll ask them for the price for something, and today it's 100% of a certain cost they told me, and then the next time I meet them the price goes up 200%. It's not for a cheap item. So it's like, oh, come on, man, how you gonna do that to me? And it's just sad, really, to be quite honest. But you really need people that you can trust, that won't take advantage of you. But that's really hard to come by, man. And that's just a sad situation that you may have. But again, that's not everybody. But as a foreigner, you are going to run into that kind of issue, which is why I made a video about why us, people who are foreigners here, we need to stick together, because we all have different pockets of information that we can share with one another and help each other to not get the foreigner price. Because, I was looking at the pricing online for, building a new house versus renovating the house. So I had to do a lot of research so that I could know, okay, is this person being honest with me, or they not being honest with me? And even people that it will surprise you, because I do my homework. I'm not one of those type of people that you can just trick me. You might trick me once, but you can't trick me twice. So you tell me a piece of information and I go search it and research it, and I'm a good researcher, I'm going to find out if you're being honest or if you're lying to me. And, it really surprised me how many people are dishonest when it come down to money, and not just being straightforward with me. Because when I did my homework and I looked at the prices of certain things, I was like, well, you told me it was going to cost this much. But when I look at the historical data in the Philippines, it say this much. And then when I talk to people that I know and trust, they telling me that the information that I researched was correct. So you really got to, be on top of your game. I don't recommend you come here if you're a person who can't adapt, and figure things out. If you can't adapt and figure things out, then unless you just want to throw all your money away, then that's fine. You do what you do. But me, I'm a person who likes to learn and, learn from my mistakes very quickly and make smart adjustments. And, sometimes I even look at I'll give you an example in the car industry. Does it make sense to buy a car that costs 750,000 pesos? That's like a 2013 vehicle that got 67 or 70,000 miles on there, something crazy like that. It got 70,000 miles on it, but it's 750,000 pesos. And it's a used car, and you got to get it inspected, to make sure it's good, and hope that the person inspecting the car is not going to work out some kind of deal with the person that's there at the car dealership to rip you off and get more money out of you, and then didn't even inspect it correctly. You got to worry about all those factors. Or does it make sense to just spend an extra 250 to 300,000 pesos and get you a brand new car that can have a 5-year warranty? And the warranty will pay for itself, because if something go wrong with it, you can just take it back to the company that manufactures the car. So it makes more logical sense in this case. The risk of buying a used car at 750,000 pesos with who knows how many miles, you don't even know if they reset the odometer. There's just so much craziness that goes into that. It almost just make more sense to just go ahead and spend the extra 300,000 pesos and get you a brand new car and be done with it. And that it got a 5-year warranty depending on what brand you go with, and then you're safe. So your decision-making process will be affected based on who you can trust, and who you trust can affect certain side effects that may happen. So you need to make sure the person you trust in is reliable, because they can end up costing you a lot of money if they're not reliable. So you really gotta think through these things and figure them out, who you can trust, and making sure that you're not gonna get ripped off. Because the number one big thing that I've talked to a lot of different foreigners here, and the major big thing that they talk about, and I'm not even talking about when it just come to business. I'm talking about just trusting people, individuals. They always tell me, man, you so lucky, man. You got people that you can trust, You know, it's really hard to come by people that you can trust because it really comes down to a money factor. A lot of the times you can't trust people because their angle may be that they, you know, their main goal is to get money out of you. And you don't really know that unless you do your homework. And I always have done my homework. So it's hard to cheat me. You know, you might cheat me the first 30 days that I'm here in the Philippines, but once I get past 30 days, I done already figured everything out, you know, and how to solve most of the problems. Now, this might be some stuff I don't know. No one's perfect in their knowledge, but me, I'm the type of person, I'll pick up on it and I'll be like, well, look, you know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm in business. So if I see some patterns, just observation and participation. If I look around me and I see that people are overpaying and I'm overpaying and it's the same thing for locals, then I'm still going to question it. And I'm going to be like, well, you know, that part only costs this much. Why am I paying this much? And I've heard ridiculous stories that you can pay like 50 or 70,000 pesos for a car repair depending on what car you have. That's a whole nother story. But man, you know, I love the Philippines, but then there's some things I don't like about the Philippines. So I'm just going to be straight with it. And I just want you guys to have the full story of, you know, what it's like to be here and the frustrations. Even if you're renting a place, you know, as a foreigner, you know, they may hit you with that foreigner monthly rate price. So don't think that, you know, you're going to get the fair price, but you can solve that problem real easy. Just go online, look at what the general prices are for places so that you get a fair price, and you can estimate how much a place should cost you, you know. So that's definitely a way to help you out. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I don't want to make it too long. I'm past the 11-minute mark. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to embed, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for future videos on Michael's Vlog.